Hello, back again, and this is a tune called Catherine's Air, and there's a little hornpipe to go after it. I'll tell you what it's all about after I've played it. Just have a quick swig. Here we go. I'll have to have another swig of a drink. Sometimes you get a little catch in your throat and you're halfway through a tune. A bit awkward, so a quick coughing in here. Okay, well I hope everybody's still fine and enjoying the music. This one's, I think I'll do this for somebody who's with you there. Max will know this song, and I know that she likes songs with stories. So this is one I'm going to sing for you, Max, especially, but I hope everybody likes it. I think you know what's coming. It's the Ode to Billy Joe, written by a woman called Bobbie Gentry, and it tells the story of a young man and a woman, a young girl, who's the voice of the song really, and something they threw off the Tallahatchie Bridge over the Tallahatchie River in the Mississippi Delta, where Bobbie Gentry was brought up between the Yazoo River and the Mississippi. And I think this, in my mind, refers to something that happened a lot earlier in the 1950s. I might be wrong about that, but about something that happened where a young man was murdered, lynched, a man called Emmett Till. That's in my mind because it's in the same area, but it's just speculation. And she has never said what it was really about. Okay, here we go. Of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton, brother was bathing. At dinner time we stopped and we walked back to the house to eat. I hollered from the back door, you all remember to wipe your feet. Then she said, we got some news this morning, Choctaw Ridge. Today Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa says to Mama, she passed around the black-eyed peas. Well, that Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40. Got to plow. And Mama says it's a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. It seems like nothing comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie says, remembers when he and Tom, Billy Joe, put a frog down my back at the Carroll County picture show. And wasn't I talking to him after church last Sunday night? Another piece of apple pie, you know, don't seem right. I saw him at the sawmill yesterday up on the Choctaw Ridge. And now you tell me Billy Joe off the Tallahatchie Ridge. And Mama says to me, child, what's happened to your appetite? I've been cooking all morning and you haven't taken a single bite. That nice young preacher, Brother Taylor, dropped by today. Says he'd be pleased to have dinner on Sunday. Oh, by the way, he says he saw a girl who looked a lot like you up on Choctaw Ridge. And she and Billy Joe was throwing something off the Tallahatchie Ridge. Well, a year has come and gone since we heard the news about Billy Joe. Brothers married Becky Thompson. They bought a store in Tupelo. There was a virus going round and Papa caught it. He died last spring. Now Mama doesn't want to do much about anything. And me, I spend my time picking flowers up on Choctaw Ridge and dropping the muddy waters off the Tallahatchie Bridge. The Ode to Billy Joe. A couple of little errors in there, but the mind wanders sometimes. And a cough in the middle as well, just for added effect. Okay. Now, I've got another couple of songs, and I think I'm going to sing one that you all know, I hope, or a lot of you will know. And it comes from a man called Hans Pies, who wrote this song in 1914. He was a German Jewish man who was conscripted into the army, and he wrote a 3-verse song called Lily Marlene. And in the Second World War, apparently the 8th Army out in North Africa, a lot of soldiers knew the tune to the song, so, and they would hum it. So somebody wrote an English version. So both the German soldiers and the English soldiers had a song about the love they left behind. Lily Marlene. I first heard it, I think, from the singing of Marlene Dietrich, the great Marlene Dietrich. She was an anti-war song, an anti-Nazi song as well. And in England, I think it was Anne Shelton who made it very famous as well. It's a great voice she had. So this is called Lily Marlene. Please sing along. Oh, that cough. Here we go. Underneath the lantern by the barricade, darling, I remember the way you used to wait. There that you whispered tenderly that you loved me, you'd always be my lily of the lamplight, my own Lily Marlene. Time would come for roll call, time for us to part. Darling, I'd caress you, press you to my heart. Very racy. There, neath that far off lamplight, I'd hold you tight, we'd kiss goodnight, my lily of the lamplight, my own Lily Marlene. Orders came for sailing somewhere over there, all confined to barracks was more than I could bear. Knew you were waiting in the street, I heard your feet, we could not meet, my lily of the lamplight, my own Lily Marlene. Resting in a billet just behind the lines, even though we're parted, your lips are close to mine. Told you it was racing. Wait where that lantern softly gleams, your sweet face seems to haunt my dreams, my lily of the lamplight, my own Lily Marlene. Underneath the lantern by the barricade, darling, I remember the way you used to wait. It was there that you whispered tenderly that you loved me. You'd always be my lily of the lamplight, my own Lily Marlene. Lily Marlene. Lovely song, very evocative. I should imagine it hit the soldiers' hearts. Okay, what I'll do now, yeah, here is a song that I learnt from the singing of Steve Knightley and the band Show of Hands with his partner Phil Beer, and in later years Miranda Sykes. But I first heard this song in 2001, I think it was, at the Landmark in Ilfracombe, and a friend of mine, Paul Swale, said, why don't you come along and see this band Show of Hands? I was teaching at Ilfracombe College as it was then. So I said okay, and I was just blown away by the whole evening, especially when they were talking about how they'd gone into a school, a primary school in Norfolk or Suffolk or somewhere, and a child said at one point they were talking about dolphins, and he said to Phil Beer, make a sound of a dolphin on your violin. So Phil Beer had to come up with something. So, and I was just enchanted by the whole thing, what they said about school, and when they sang this song. So I invited them after the concert. I wrote to or contacted Steve Knightley, and he said he would come in on condition to the school that after he'd been, that we started up a songwriters group, and then he would come back 3 months later, and he would come in and see what we'd all done, and we'd have our own concert, and then after that he'd have his concert, and we'd invite parents and everything in for the whole evening. It all happened. We had a songwriters workshop once a week. It was fantastic. We had students writing songs, singing them themselves or singing them for other people who'd written songs, staff helping with music and song as well, and it was just a fantastic collaboration of staff and students. And he came back and he loved what he heard. Some people had never sung in their lives before, so they found their voice through the writing as well in that way. And he came back for 3 years on the trot doing that, and then he got busier in other areas and he couldn't come back anymore. But it was just fantastic. It was never to be forgotten. Phil, Steve Knightley from Show of Hands, who came to support our students and did so well with them. Okay, and this is a song he wrote, which I was blown away by in particular that night at the Landmark. It's called Widdicombe Fair. You know it, you've heard me sing it. It was early dark when we met out on the hillside, on our way to Widdicombe Fair, drink ourselves dry, make a big day. I'm going to start again. It wasn't early dark, it was early dawn. Here we go. It was early dawn when we met out on the hillside, on our way to Widdicombe Fair, to drink ourselves dry, make a big noise there. 6 Devon lads with a young boy whose mother had said, promise me now you'll watch for him. He's never slept out of home before, and you know too well there'll be trouble in store. I gave her my word and we crossed the moor. It was growing dark. We stopped at the inn when we saw her, fair-faced in the candlelight, such a fine sight with her long black hair. Young Billy stared and she stared right back, but the landlord said, she's spoken for. He said, leave me here alone. I'll meet you tomorrow at the way back home at the crossway. At noon on the Whittendown Road, you go and I'll stay. I said, take my watch and my chain. We all hit the road again. 4 miles to the fairground, we had a fine time there. The next day came, we waited in the rain at the crossroad, but the boy never came. I said, you go ahead. I returned to the inn, but the landlord said that the last thing seen was a boy and a girl out on the moor, and that was all he knew, and he showed me the door. I called, I cried, God knows I tried, until the long night came. His mother flew at me, called me names, scratched my face and said, would she ever see her sweet, sweet son again? Well, a year went by without one sign. Back at the inn to see what I'd find, and the wind whistled cold on the moor that night. I thought I saw a couple in the pale moonlight. The landlord said, it's you again. From his pocket hung down my watch and my chain. Thomas sat down on a stone and I cried, knowing full well that the young lad died. Tom, Tom, lend me your grey mare. I want to go back to Widdicombe Fair. Get Phil and Dan and Peter and Jan and Harry and Pete. On the moors we'll meet. All along, down along, down along Lee. All along, down along, out along Lee. There we are. Widdicombe Fair, with a little bit of atmosphere as well. Okay, how are we going for time? 8 minutes, 2 songs in 8 minutes we can do. Okay, this is a song for the summer. It's called June Hymn, by a band called The Decemberists. I love this song. Here's a hymn to welcome in the day, heralding a summer's early sway, and all the bulbs are coming in to begin. The thrushes bleed in battle with the wrens, disrupts our reverie again. Training jasmine on the vine, raining jasmine on the vine. I'm gonna have to start that one again. Sorry. Here we go. It does happen. Here's a hymn to welcome in the day, bulbs are coming in to begin. Russia's beating battle with the Reds disrupts our reverie again. Begging clothing on the line, praying Jasmine how to bind up the arbor to your door. More standing on the landing with the war you shouldered all the night before. Once upon it, yellow bonnets, garland all along. You were waiting, day was breaking, panoply of song. Summer comes to Springfield Hill. Barony of ivy in the trees, expanding out its empire by degrees, and all the branches burst to bloom in the boom. Heaven sent its cardinal maroon to decorate our living room. Once upon it, yellow bonnets, garland all along. You were waking, day was breaking, panoply of song. Summer comes to Springfield Hill. Years from now, when this old life isn't ambling anymore, will I bring myself to ride? Give my best to Springfield Hill. Once upon it, yellow bonnet, garland all along. You were waking, day was breaking, panoply of song. Summer comes to Springfield Hill. Summer comes to Springfield Hill. We got there in the end. Right, and this is one to finish up with. I think, again, we're in an area where the sea is a big part of our lives, the great Atlantic Ocean out there. This is one I've sung as well many times here, and if you know it, I want you to sing along with it and raise the roof. It was written by the Sutherland brothers, made very famous by Rod Stewart. I am sailing home again, across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. through the dark night, far away. I am dying, forever trying to be with you. Who can say? And again. Can you hear me through the dark night, far away? I am dying, forever trying to be with you. Who can say? And now, big sing. We are sailing, come on now. We are sailing home again, across the sea. I can hear you. We are sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. And again, we are sailing, come on, I wanna hear you. We are sailing home again. Yep, that's good. Across the sea, keep it going. We are sailing stormy waters, yep, to be near you, to be free. And we're going to go through it once more, it's great. We are sailing, come on. We are sailing home again, across the sea. We are sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free, to be near you, to be free. And there it is. And thank you for having me in this recorded live concert with all its mistakes. But I hope that we will get back to playing for you as soon as possible back in your lovely room there where we can all play and listen. And I'll bring Sean, Jim and Roger back as well, and other people hopefully who've played in the past. My friend Barbara Martin has also played there with you, for you, and perhaps we'll in time do a kind of socially distanced concert when the lockdown is eased a little bit, hopefully soon. But meanwhile, everybody stay safe, and thank you for having me, and thank you Babs and Sam.